Cool. I was in the chat. Oh, the question that I have on the chat is, how do you choose the right accountant for a startup? What questions do you ask? So choosing an accountant is like choosing any service provider. You must first do your research on them to find out if you like them, you like their company, you like their values, right? And then have a meeting with them to find out a little bit more about them and ask them, how are they different from other accountants? What value are they going to add to your business? And let them know what your concerns are. And then based on what they say, then you choose them. It's like hiring an employee. It's like choosing a service provider, like choosing a doctor. You just need to find out a little bit about them and find out if they'll be able to help you with the issues that you are having. All right. Okay, Ernest, I've answered that. Kindly advise what should be considered when determining directors' pay. That's one of our upcoming webinars. So we're gonna dig a lot into what should be a director's pay because it's quite a complex assessment. But yeah, stick around. We'll share the communication though on that webinar. Yes, Ernest?
I just needed to know, sorry my dear for asking a lot. I just needed to find out on this matter of saying if maybe I'm choosing an accountant and find that he's right, but he's not doing what we expected. Where can I report such an accountant to say, no, I've come to agreement with him on this one to you had my consent to say they'll do this thing and then they'll ask you to say for us to see this, let's have your e-filing login and details and you give them to them, but eventually they've submitted some other things that knowing that you don't know much, they've submitted some other things only to find that they kick back to you. Where can I report such?
Okay. First thing, accountants' work can be audited, right? So that's why they are professionals who are called auditors. Their job is to audit the work that has been done by an accountant, right? So even before we get to the stage where we are reporting to somebody what the accountant did, what you can do as a business owner is after the bookkeeping has been done, after the accountant has provided you with the financial statements, then you can request an auditor to audit those financial statements, right? It's not cheap because obviously they're providing a service. Or you can ask an auditor to review the financial statements. So there is that level of review that can be done, and it doesn't have to be done by you, the business owner. Bring in an auditor to audit the work that has been done by the accountant, right? The second thing is accountants that are registered accountants. So when you are doing research on your accountant, find out if they are registered accountant. They have a reporting body, right? For me, I report to SAICA, which is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. There's other reporting bodies, CYBA, ARCA, there's so many. So you must find out your accountant, who do they report to? And if you've got any queries, you can take it up with the reporting body. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions? Yes. How are you?
Good, and you. Maybe the question is linked to that. I'm thinking here, the guy who asked the previous question, being audited, it would depend on the level where you are in terms of your business performance. I mean, you can't, as a startup, making almost no money or just building your revenue, think you can afford a a review from an auditor? That's my question. I think he wanted to, I don't know, but that's a follow-up question from me. Number two, who uses a bookkeeper and who uses an accountant?
Okay. So the first one with regards to getting your books audited, getting the financial statement audited, that's at the discretion of the directors or shareholders. So if they feel comfortable enough to be able to afford an auditor, by all means. Again, you can ask the auditor not to do a full audit, but can just do a review. A review is normally a little bit less than what a full audit is. But if there's issues that you're having with the financials, please go ahead and get a review of the financials being done, because the review is done by somebody who's independent from the accountant, right? So if you come to Nzumo Consulting to do your books all the way to the financial statements, get XYZ Limited auditors to audit them. They must be completely independent. Okay. Now, your second question was who gets an accountant, who gets a bookkeeper? Depending on the level of the bookkeeper, a bookkeeper does books, meaning that they raise invoices, they pay suppliers, when a customer pays, they link that payment to that invoice that was raised, right? So that's keeping your books, your financial records for the company. So that's normally done by a bookkeeper. An accountant then comes in after the bookkeeper has done their job to do all the way to doing what's called reconciliations. So after the bookkeeper has done that, then the accountant will come in to review the work that was done by the bookkeeper, and then possibly even do the tax submissions to SARS, and sit down with the business owner, if that's the agreement, sit down with the business owner to review the company's performance in the last month. Are we meeting targets? What were my sales? What are some of the things I should look out for, right? That's normally what an accountant does. I'm not saying a bookkeeper can't do it, but in general, the bookkeeper does books just to ensure that things are correct. And then the accountant comes in and reviews and does even more. Okay. I hope, Imelda, that has answered your question.
Yes, but the first one was a question of affordability. I didn't want to go to the cost, but what costs are you thinking of in terms of review? Because I was just saying, what if you don't afford? Because usually people who don't afford startups are those that do not have a fair understanding of financial statements, and accountants take advantage of such. That's the reality of the world that we live in. It's very rare for a company to mess up Dimension Data or Bidvest, because they know they've got qualified people there. Well, they do sometimes, but we know the big guys who did wrong things.
Yeah, even the big
the
guys
question
do
is, what
wrong.
if you don't afford that, but you just know something like the bit that you taught doesn't balance, but affordability is a problem.
Yeah, if affordability is a problem, but look, as a small business owner, you do have options, right? I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the noise there. Please close it up. So the affordability, small business owners can reach out to larger corporates to find out if they can pay for their accounting services. So meaning that you who owns XYZ Limited, a small business, can reach out to MTN. I'm just making MTN as an example, Pick n Pay, Woolworths, whoever, and say, how are you currently supporting small businesses? Is it possible for you to please close the door? Is it possible for you to please pay for my accounting services, right? To pay for my auditor. So if affordability is an issue, there is that avenue that you can approach. But again, do the necessary research on the accountant before you hire them, right? See what their current clients are saying. You will not always get it right because nobody always gets the right service provider the first time. And that's why when a person has found an accountant, you find that they stay with them for years because of the work involved in order to getting a service provider. That's just service providers in general, right? So yeah, that's a risk that is taken. If you found an accountant who's not doing things correctly, then find another one, but do the necessary research.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Ernest, this is the last question I'm seeing. It's 10 o'clock now. I've got a meeting, for example, with you coming up. So go ahead. This is the final question I'm taking.
Okay, a quick one. I've got a lot of this thing. Are there systems that one can purchase once off and own them, or are these ones on a month-to-month basis or annual ones? That's my question number one. Question number two, that FNB had a bit of a system. If maybe but FNB, it's only if you become if you have a business account with FNB. I think there was something like that on FNB.
Yeah.
Can you be able to pull the information from that point, or can your company be able to help me how to set it up with according to the lessons that you've just done? You know what? I got so nice about this thing. I think I'll not miss it again. I missed the one in December where your network was not right, but I just needed to know about this one for FNB. I think I did attempt it at one stage, but COVID came and then everything went hayway. So if I've got this one for with FNB, can I come to you and you help me set it up so that when the cost and whatever is the things, because of it ask you what type of expenditure is this, what are you doing, and then it allocates it, I think something like that. Can you be able to help to set this up if maybe one has got such a kind?
All right. So the first question about accounting systems, the ones that I know of, you can pay monthly or annually, right? Monthly or annually. I don't know of any good ones where you pay once off and that's it, right? And because of updates that need to be done and keeping up with the current, AI, I think try to maybe use the annual ones, pay an annual subscription, and you know that you have access to that accounting system for at least a year. So I don't know of any once-off accounting systems that you just pay once off. I know the monthly or annual. That's the first one. The second one, the FNB. Okay, my company uses 3 accounting systems only. We use Xero as our primary. We use QuickBooks as our secondary. And lastly, we use Sage. Those are the 3 systems we use because there are hundreds of accounting systems out there. Like you mentioned, FNB has their own. There are so many accounting systems. So there's lots of training that's involved in order to learn how each accounting system works. So there's time investment, and I have decided that's not an investment that I'm willing to do because the 3 that I've mentioned are good enough for what they offer. So in terms of the FNB one, I'd say would guide you in terms of just basically how the accounting system, the things that should be on the accounting system. But I'll then say reach out to FNB to find out if there are any trainings that are available to better understand their system. And again, when you're doing research on your accountant, those are things you can look out for. Which systems do you use in your company? Right? And if they say FNB is one of the systems that we use, then you know you are in the right hands. I hope that has answered your question, Ernest. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end it here today. I'll see you next week, the 1st of February, 2024, where we'll be discussing cash flow management, how small businesses can better manage their cash. We know business owners are great at watching the money coming in, not so good at watching it go out. That's why they find that I had $1 million. Where did it go? You didn't manage your cash correctly. So that's what we'll be focusing on. Thanks, guys. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.